everyone, welcome to another Yin session. I figured that we probably need to do some more movement. If like me, you're probably going a little bit stir crazy at home. So today I've put together a mood enhancing sequence that will help with stress and anxiety and will just allow us to hopefully rest and repair for a little bit during this crazy time. So I hope you're all doing well. Yeah, it's very crazy at the moment, and trying to just speak on a camera is very surreal as well. So we'll get started, which will be a lot better. So you can remain seated if you want to. I'm actually sitting on a cushion, just to tilt my pelvis slightly. If you feel like you'd be more relaxed laying down, then you can lay down with the legs straight, or you can place cushion or a rolled up duvet underneath the knees. So I've just been trying to think of different things that you can use at home. I've got a blanket at this end rolled up to show you how we can use that, and I've got a blanket at this end that we can use for underneath our heads as we go through. If any of you do have bolsters, then obviously I can show you where they can be used, but just trying to think of what you may have at home and what we can use in between. So we're going to start with some breathing exercises to start off with. So if you're sitting, you want to have the length through the core, back straight, head slightly tilted so that you feel like you're being pulled up from the crown of the head. If you're laying down, just relax, allow the shoulders to be down and relaxed, relax the jaw. And we're going to do some ratio breathing. So before we start, let's just take some really nice deep breaths. Not trying to change too much at the moment, but just become aware of your breathing. So take a nice breath in and out. Take another breath in and out, and just again be conscious of the belly rising and dropping back down, trying to really get that breath moving, not just into the lungs but down into the lower belly, so that we're really getting some fresh oxygen moving around everywhere. So closing your eyes down if that feels comfortable for you. Just continue to observe your normal breath to start off with while I just explain the breathing that we're going to have a go at today. So in classes we've been practicing ratio breathing, where we've been breathing in for 4 and out for 4 to start off with, and then we've been breathing in for 4, out for 5, and we've been increasing the out breath normally up to about 7, or double ratio, which is a 1-to-2 ratio. And what we're going to have a go at today is we're going to breathe in for 4, we're going to pause for the count of 2, we're going to breathe out for the count of 4, and then we're going to pause for the count of 2 before we repeat, and then we're going to just try and increase some of those numbers as well. So I think the maximum we'll go up to is breathing in for 5, pausing for 3, out for 5, and pausing for 3 before we start again. So let's just have a go. So on your next in-breath, I won't count for you because you'll breathe at slightly different speeds, but on your next in-breath, take that nice breath in for the count of 4, and then pause, hold that breath for the count of 2, and then slowly, gently releasing that breath for the count of 4, and again pausing at the end of that breath for the count of 2. So we'll do that again, in for the count of 4, pause for the count of 2, and breathe out for the count of 4, pause for the count of 2, and before you start again. So keep going with that, just try a few more. And just try and keep that focus on the breath. If the mind starts to wander, just bring it back to the counting. Noticing the breath as it enters the body and as it leaves the body. And if this feels quite comfortable and quite easeful for you, when you next take a breath in, let's try and take that breath in for 5, pausing for the count of 3, exhaling for 5, and pausing for 3 again, and then keep that cycle going just for a little bit. Really start to relax the body, allow the body to feel heavy if you're laying down. If you're sitting upright, just again relaxing the shoulders, the jaw, as you take those breaths in And allow the breath, particularly the exhalation, to start to relax the body, relax the mind. And no rushing, you've got plenty of time. And again, if you're enjoying the breathing, once I do stop and move us on to something else, then obviously if you want to spend more time on the breathing at home, you can pause at any time and restart again, so you don't have to work at this pace. You are master of your destiny on this occasion. So then whenever you've taken your full round of that breath, just bringing the breath back to normal and just noticing and observing, how does the breath feel now? Does it feel noticeably any different to when you started? We've elongated the breath, we've paused in between, which should really allow the body to relax. And then when you're ready, if you're laying down, please come up to a seated position, and if you're already seated, we're just going to come into some stretching to start off with. So from a comfortable cross-legged position, if that's okay, or if not, you can have the legs out in front of you, or you can kneel as well, whichever you find most comfortable. So you can either sit cross-legged, you can do half lotus, which is resting one leg on top of the other, whichever start position is good for you. So from here, we're just going to take the arms, float them up to the side. We're going to clasp the hands together, bring them down behind the head. We're going to shrug the shoulders up, release them back down. We're then going to take that into a lateral stretch to the side, coming back up and into the other side, coming back up. We then raise the hands and we bring them back down. We're going to do that a couple more times, so bring the hands up, clasping the hands together at the top, bringing them down and holding behind the nape of the bottom of the head, shrugging the shoulders up, releasing them down, taking that stretch over to one side, keeping those sit bones firmly on the ground as you stretch, and take that into the other side. And we'll do two more. So again, taking the hands up, releasing them down, float the arms back up, clasping the hands together behind the head, shrugging the shoulders up, releasing them down, taking that stretch over to one side and releasing, and to the other side and releasing. We then take the arms back up, float them back down, and one final time, taking them up, clasping the hands behind the head, shrugging those shoulders up, releasing them down, taking that stretch over to the side, back to centre and to the side again, and then arms back up, float them down. Then we want to cross over the legs to the other side. We're going to come into another lateral stretch, but this time resting the tips of the fingers on the floor, coming down onto the hand fully as we reach over to one side, and take a breath in here. Pause the breath for a second, and then slowly and gently release the breath as you come back up, and then bring that over to the other side. Again, taking that stretch over, taking a really nice deep breath in, pausing that breath, and then slowly and gently exhaling before coming back to centre and releasing. Okay, so if you are sitting on a cushion or anything, that can just be moved out of the way for now. So we're going to come into some stretches for the hamstrings. So this is a half butterfly pose variation with a forward fold. So I'm just going to move back. I'm not sure how much the video is going to get me in. So taking one leg out to the side. Don't know how everybody's feeling, but I'm certainly noticing not doing classes every day. My hamstrings feel very tight, so I thought we could all do with stretching this. And I think a lot more people are doing walking. I've been digging in the garden, so my legs feel like they really need some stretching out today. So from here, we're going to take the stretch and we're going to lean forward, but I've rolled up a blanket. If you have a bolster, you can use the bolster, and we're just going to come down and rest the head onto something, then folding forward. You can pile up cushions or anything that you have, but we're going to hold that position there as we start to feel that stretch along the legs. So taking a deep breath in, pausing the breath. And then slowly and gently releasing the breath. And just allow that stretch to increase. And imagine with every out breath that you're releasing that tension along the legs. So the longer you hold, the more that tension that you can feel in the leg will just start to give. And that means that we're working into the connective tissue and fascia as well as we start to lengthen and stretch. And then slowly, gently releasing back up. Let's come over to the other side as well. So taking that leg out wide, bringing the other leg into that half lotus position, half butterfly position. And then again from here, we're just going to fold forward, bringing the head down, taking those deep breaths in, just allowing the body to start to relax and release the tension. And then releasing back up. So I'm just going to turn this way so hopefully you can see what I'm doing. So again, you can have a rolled up blanket, you can use the bolster, or if you're super flexible then obviously you can do without. So similar position but the legs out straight this time, and then we're bringing the other leg in. So we're opening up the hips here and we're working into the hamstrings. So again, we're going to slide the hands along, resting them wherever they fall. You can have a blanket or a bolster here if you want to rest the head down. And we're just going to take some really nice breaths here. And again, we're just trying to really stretch and open the hamstrings here. And then releasing, taking that leg out, coming over to the other side. And again, we're just going to slide the hands down, stopping wherever's comfortable. If they only come to here, that's absolutely fine. And just allowing that stretch all the way along the back of the leg. Taking in some lovely deep breaths, and as you exhale, just releasing that tension that you can feel in the leg, using that out breath. And then slowly and gently releasing the legs out. So we're going to come into our puppy dog pose, but with thread with the needle. So you can turn around this way so that you can see. Having a rolled up towel or a blanket folded over that we can use for the head. So we're going to start with the knees underneath the hips and in tabletop position. So from here, we're going to thread one arm underneath the other arm. We want to bring that shoulder all the way down to the floor, resting the head on the blanket. You can either rest the arm out on top, you can have it here for support, or you can open up the chest here by placing it on the back and lifting the shoulder. And again, staying here, taking that breath, and then gently releasing the breath. Holding that pose, really feeling that breath. And then when you're ready, releasing and coming back up, and we'll come over to the other side as well. So again, flipping that hand, threading it underneath, bringing that shoulder all the way down, keeping the bottom above the knees, and then bringing that hand, top of the hand, and lifting that shoulder. And again, just focus on your breathing here, just allowing that relaxation to occur, pausing in between your inhalation and your exhalation. Feeling that lovely chest opening and that rotation through the spine. And again, from here, releasing, moving the blanket down towards the end of the mat. We're going to come into crocodile pose from here. So just taking the feet wider than the mat with the heels turning in, resting the hands and the head down here. And just taking a moment just to allow the back to settle. And really start to notice the breath. Because you're laying on your tummy here, you really feel the breath in the back body. So really feel that stretch. So this is a really beneficial pose. It's a recovery pose, but it's also great for stretching the deep musculature of the spine from the inside out. And it's hugely calming for the nervous system. It massages the vagus nerve, which encourages a shift into the parasympathetic nervous system. So really focus on taking those deep breaths here, using the exhalation. Okay, we're going to now come into reclined half cow face pose, which is also really good IT band stretch. So for all you runners out there, this is a great one for you. So just rolling over onto your backs from here, bending the knees so the feet are on the floor. We're going to roll one leg over all the way to the floor and then lift the foot and place it in front, holding around that ankle. And just taking some breaths here. And then releasing that side, taking the other leg out to the side and placing that foot in front, holding onto that ankle, relaxing the shoulders down, and again just feel that stretch. And take some lovely deep breaths there. And then release that side as well. And we're gently going to come up to seated when you're ready. So we're going to come into a variation of boat pose. So really feeling those sit bones, bending the knees, and we're going to hold underneath the back of the thighs to start off with. If you have a towel or a blanket, this is optional, you don't have to do this. We normally use the block when we're in class, but we're just going to place something between the knees just to make it a little bit harder. So we want to, again, create that length through the spine, giving that space for breathing, head up high, feeling like you're being pulled up by the crown, and we're then going to just rock, lifting the legs up, sucking the belly button in towards the spine, getting that stability, and then taking the hands away, and we're just going to take a couple of breaths here. And again, if you want to hold for longer in any of the poses, you can obviously pause the video at any time and come back. So we're just going to release down. We're going to do that once more. Just taking a breath in and out first of all, coming back up when you're ready, keeping the back straight, taking the arms away and taking a couple of breaths here. And then releasing down. So we're going to come into a side plank variation. So from here we're going to take the leg sideways and the foot out in front. Let's move the blanket out the way. So we want to have the hand underneath the shoulder as we then take the other hand up, and if we can balance, we look up towards the hand, and again just taking a breath here. And then bring it into a side stretch by taking it, she says, very elegantly done. So bringing that other arm forward, taking that balance. I clearly need to do more classes again, my body's not working anymore. And we'll come over to the other side. So again, taking that leg sideways, taking that foot so that foot is facing forward. We're going to place the arm underneath the shoulder as we then take and look up towards the hand. And again, taking a couple of breaths and then taking that hand over. And then releasing down. So we're going to have a go at a pose that we haven't done in class, but it's called side bow pose. So I'll demonstrate this way round. If you've got a string off of your dressing gown or anything like that, it may be worthwhile grabbing. We're going to come down onto our sides. We're going to grab hold of the feet, keeping the knees together, but just feeling that stretch. We're creating a curve all the way through the spine, stretching and opening it through at the shoulders, and just taking a few breaths here. And releasing the legs. We then need to come into recovery position, we'll stretch the back in the opposite direction. So just coming down into child's pose, taking that head down to the floor, allowing the shoulders to relax and drop, palms facing up by the feet. And really just taking a moment there, just allowing the spine to stretch in the opposite direction of what we've just done. And then coming up when you're ready. So we're going to come into our dangle pose. Now this can be done with a rolled up towel underneath the sacrum. You can do it without anything underneath the sacrum at all, but I find that it becomes quite uncomfortable quite quickly. So if you can roll up a towel, or if you have a single duvet that you can roll up, then laying down onto the floor, bringing that bolster just to the sacrum area, this top kind of triangle area at the top of the bottom, and we're just going to bring the legs up, taking the arms wide, just allowing gravity to do its thing here. So the heart is having to work much less hard here. Obviously it's not having to pump everything around, it's all coming back in the right direction. So just allowing those deep breaths. And then taking one foot down at a time and just releasing whatever you have. Just going to move that out of the way. Okay, so the next pose, we're going to come into reclined butterfly pose. So again, having your towel or blanket underneath your head, we're going to take the soles of the feet together, and we're just going to allow the knees to come wide and drop out to the side, taking the arms wide, palms facing up. And we're just going to take a couple of breaths here. And then from here, just taking the legs long, and then just allowing the feet and legs to roll out to the side, taking the hands, palms facing up. We're going to come into Shavasana, closing the eyes down, and we're just going to relax here. And I'm just going to take us through today's guided relaxation. Okay, so just take a moment to obviously get as comfortable as possible. So this is your time, a time for total relaxation and inner stillness. To make sure that you feel warm enough and that you're comfortable, that your hands are resting nicely and your eyes are now closed. And take a long, slow, deep breath in. Hold that breath for a moment, and then slowly and gently exhale, and just allow any tension to melt away as you gradually relax more and more deeply with each breath. Taking another long, slow, deep breath in, hold it, and then exhale, emptying your lungs completely with your out breath. Take a third deep breath in. Take your time, hold it for a moment, and then let it go. And hopefully you can already feel yourself drifting into a deeper state of relaxation. And continue to breathe slowly and gently as you bring your awareness to the top of your head. Just sense or imagine a feeling of relaxation beginning to spread down from the top of your scalp. Feel the muscles in your forehead and temples relax. Allow your eye muscles to release. Let your cheeks and jaw soften, and let go of all tension. Now let this peaceful feeling flow down into your neck Feel it loosening every muscle and every fibre. With each breath you take, this relaxing feeling becomes deeper and warmer. It works its way deep into the muscles in your shoulders, soothing them and releasing them. This peaceful feeling flows down from your shoulders and into your arms. It loosens the muscles in your upper arms, your forearms, your hands, relaxing and soothing all the way to the tips of your fingers. As your body relaxes, your mind relaxes, and your thoughts seem to become lighter. You are slipping further and further into a dreamlike state of stillness and relaxation. Now bring your awareness to your chest and your stomach. Feel how this area of your body gently rises and falls as you breathe. The peaceful sensation flows throughout this area of your body, soothing every muscle and relaxing every organ. Turn your attention now to your upper back and feel this relaxing sensation flow all the way down your spine. As it gradually works its way down your body, feel every muscle in your back relax and unwind. Feel that your entire upper body has become loose, limp and relaxed. Now for your hips, relax as the peaceful feeling starts to work its way through your lower body. Relax your buttocks, the backs of your thighs, the front of your thighs. Feel all these large, strong muscle groups becoming looser and more relaxed with each passing moment. Soothing feelings of relaxation flow down through your knees and into your calves. Your ankles relax. Now your feet relax. Allow your entire lower body to relax completely and allow any remaining tension from anywhere in your body to flow out through the tips of your toes. You are comfortable, peaceful and relaxed. And allow yourself to stay here for as long as you wish. And when you're ready to come back from this place, just start to bring your awareness back to the room, bring your awareness back to your breathing, and maybe make your breathing a little bit more purposeful. And as you do that, maybe taking the arms overhead so that you're pointing the toes, feeling that stretch all the way along the body, and maybe you feel like you need to bring the knees into the chest and hug them in, whatever feels good for you as you start to get mobile. And then coming back as and when you're ready. So namaste everybody. Thank you for doing my yin class, and apologies that it's not as slick as normal. But it doesn't feel natural sitting in front of a camera, but I still hope you get some enjoyment from this nonetheless. And stay safe everybody, and I cannot wait to see you all again soon. Much love. Dee.